So, two black girls snubbed by a Sesame Street character? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense Logic and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So by now, I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with this viral video that went out. And this has been circling around, especially around like black sector, the black YouTube, and black folks going crazy, losing their mind. But this incident happened at Sesame Place. I had never heard of this place before, but it opened up in 1980. And it's located in Langhorne, Pennsylvania. That's about 30 miles northeast of Philadelphia. Now, anyway, for those who haven't seen the video, let's roll it. Now, as we see in this video, there's a Sesame Street character. And by the name everybody's saying is Rosaline or something like that. Like my children are, all adults now, so I haven't watched Sesame Street in years. But apparently the character, if you see the early parts of the video, the character high fives looks like a white boy, then high fives a white female, and then the character looked behind himself to I don't know who they were gesturing to, but look behind the white woman and going along the parade route and gestured a no and shook his head no to somebody, and then walked by the little girls and did something like this and kept going. Now the mother, according to the mother claims that the character then went to hug white kids standing right next to them. And of course, black folks are losing their minds as usual. But before you can really analyze this video, there's two things that you need to take into account when you're dealing with black folk and when you're dealing with FBAs. And that's, of course, Foundation of Black Americans, if y'all are not familiar with the term. I believe Tariq Nasheed came up with this. But one thing you have to consider when you're dealing with these FBAs or the brainwashed blacks is that whenever race starts, brains stop. It's like the left side of their brain just completely shut down, and all ability to use common sense, logic, and reason just goes out the window. So when black folks, these FBAs, these brainwashed blacks, when they get in their state, trying to use logic with them is impossible. Don't waste your time. Honestly, you just let them go somewhere off and cry until they console themselves. Then we can start getting logical. Now, another thing that you have to take into consideration is one of those leftist tactics, and this is the tactic of the 4-second clip. But in this case, this is about 9 seconds. The video is about 9 seconds, but the same rule applies. They give you this 4 or 5 second clip, or perhaps 10 seconds of something they try to push a narrative to you, and you can't really get full context in what they're showing you. They'll take a 5-minute video, 10-minute video, and edit it down to 4 seconds, 10 seconds that gives you the narrative that they want you to see. Okay, now with that being said, you cannot cry race and say that this park is racist based off of what was shown, this 9-second video, because there's so many questions that you have to ask, and we need to see more video, right? Okay. Now here's several questions you have to ask. Did this particular character here, and I'm not talking about all the rest of the characters, did this particular character in that parade consistently ignore all the black kids and give the attention to all these white kids? Every time they see a white kid, they hug them, give them attention, and they just walk past black kids. And do we have video evidence to back that up? And were all the characters doing this? Does Sesame Place have a track record of their characters consistently ignoring black kids while giving attention to all other races of kids? Do we have evidence to back that up? Again, with all these cell phones out here, all these cameras, and given the fact that the park has been open since 1980, if this were the case, we should see hours of video. hundreds of minutes of video of these characters doing this. Now, there are video, you know what I'm saying, there are other videos out there that black folks have been using to try to prove racism. In this video, I'm specifically dealing with this particular clip. I'll do another video addressing those other clips. But this is, like I say, is there evidence of this though? You know, were any white kids ignored? Or were there any white kids ignored? You mean you tell me they somehow along the parade route they managed to give all this attention to every white kid? I'm pretty sure there were plenty of white kids who didn't get no hug or anything. They got just characters just walk by them. And lastly, and again, this is specifically dealing with the little girls. Were they ignored the whole time? You know, like I'm pretty sure their whole experience at this park was not that 9-second clip at a parade. You know, and this is not a big park. It's only like 14 acres. You know, there's no Disney World. You know what I'm saying? But were they ignored the whole time they were there? I mean, were these girls just being snubbed by characters left and right? Snubbed by all the white folks left and right? And this is a question that really have to be asked before you start saying that this is racism, before black folks start losing their minds. And, you know, you look at comment sections and black folks saying, well, for the most part, most people saying they didn't know it existed. But then you have black people saying that they won't be going there, or they have plans of taking their children, but they won't be going now. And you tell me that we're going to demonize a whole park because of a 9-second video. And like I say, if it really truly was a racist park, we would have hours, countless hours, not just from black folk, from white people, because white folks will cry racism and be on the side of black people just as much as anybody. We should have countless hours of video of these people, these characters, snubbing black kids while ignoring white kids. I haven't seen it. So we need to do an investigation before we can start judging, jumping to conclusion and judging. Now I hear that the mother is suing the park for $25 million, and obviously this is a money grab. And I'm willing to bet it's lawyers that put her up to this because they want to get their money. And more than likely what's going to happen, they're probably going to sell out of court, and the mother's going to get a check that's way less than that, and the lawyer's going to take half of that. But I from what I've seen in this video, I'm sorry, I can't justify no $25 million lawsuit because I didn't see enough in this video for any kid to be sued, because we don't know the full context. We don't know the full context. If you, again, show me this particular character, a video following that particular character through the whole parade route, and show me that this particular person in that suit was consistently ignoring black kids. Show me how these characters, you know, in a full video, how all the characters consistently in that parade just keep snubbing all these black kids while passing up white kids. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of black kids who get hugs and high fives from these characters, like there are plenty of white kids who don't. So this is basically just race hustling at its finest. And as I say, you know, this again, the race Murphy's law is always in effect. You know, if anything that can be race will be race. And the blacks are trying to hype this thing up like there's no tomorrow. You know, they're giving press conferences for this. Press conferences over this little incident. And what kills me though with black people is that you have these, you know, these NAACP members coming out of the woodwork with these press conferences. But what we chose to ignore though, I mean, of all the, you know, they continue ignoring Chirac. All the problems in the black community, the self-inflicted problems, things that we do to ourselves, we ignore that. I mean, we're more concerned about Sesame Street characters than black kids' lives. And I never saw a press conference of no NAACP member, no Black Lives Matter come out with a press conference when that little black kid, toddler, was attacking a police officer. It's just sad. This is why black people aren't getting anywhere in America. That's foundational black Americans, because of this level of insanity. I didn't see anything in that video to say that we as black people should be alarmed until you do an investigation, a full investigation, to see what fully happened, not what a 9-second clip tells you. Anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.